This is the homework video for Thursday, 12/15/16, and in your homework packet, it is page 12, number 5. I was going to assign number 6 as well, but number 5 is kind of time-consuming, so you only have to do number 5. I will cross this out. Just number 5. Here we go. So one of the things I want you to notice is that I did not start by distributing this time. Instead, I started by getting rid of these fractions because fractions are a pain to work with. And so remember that any time you multiply a fraction times its reciprocal, you get 1. So here I multiplied 1/9 by its reciprocal, 9/1. Now that means I have to do the same thing over here, and because 9 is a multiple of 3, it's still going to get rid of the fraction. So here 9 times 1 is 9, and 1 times 3 is 3, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. So 9 times 1/3 is 3, or 1/3 of 9 is 3. So now I have those fractions gone, and the only side I have to distribute on is this side. So over here, 1 times 2m minus 16, because when you multiply a number by its reciprocal, you just get 1, is just 2m minus 16. So you got rid of this. Over here, 3 times 2m is 6m, and 3 times 4 is 12. Now I don't have any more distributing. I can't combine like terms because the m is on this side and the 6m is on this side, so they're not like terms. So I'm trying to get the variable on just one side, and I decided to get rid of the 2m. Minus 2m here and minus 2m here. Notice I line up my like terms. 2m minus 2m is 0, so this side is just negative 16. 6m minus 2m is 4m, and then I have to bring down that plus 12. So now I have negative 16 equals 4m plus 12. I need to get the m by itself, and I always want to get rid of addition and subtraction first. The way to get rid of plus 12 is to subtract 12. So I subtract 12 from here, and then I have to go over to the other side of the equal sign and subtract there as well. 12 minus 12 is nothing, so all that's left is 4m. 16 minus 12 is negative 28. Here, 4 times m equals negative 28. The opposite of multiplying by 4 is to divide by 4. So I divide by 4 here, and I divide by 4 here, and m is equal to negative 7. Number 2. Again, I'm getting rid of the things that are in front of the parentheses instead of distributing. I just want to make it a little easier. I notice that this is a 4 and this is a 4, and so I know the reciprocal of negative 4 is negative 1/4, and so I decided to multiply this side by negative 1/4 and this side by negative 1/4. Let's see what happens. Well, we know that negative 4 times its reciprocal is going to give me a 1, so all that leaves is the r plus 2, because 1 times r plus 2 is r plus 2. Over here, negative 1/4 times positive 4 is going to give me negative 1. So negative 1/4 times 4 is negative 1, and so now I have negative 1 times the quantity 2 minus 2r. I do have to distribute that negative 1 to the 2 and distribute it to the negative 2r, and that's going to give me negative 2, and negative 1 times negative 2r is plus 2r. Now I can get the r on just one side, so I subtracted r here, and I subtracted a 1r here. 2r minus 1r is 1r, and bring down the negative 2, bring down the equals, and then r minus r is nothing, and so bring down the 2. Now I have to get the r by itself, and the only thing it has with it is a minus 2 or a negative 2, and the opposite of subtracting 2 is to add 2, so I'm going to add 2 here and add 2 here, and that's going to give me r equal 4. Last problem. Here I did decide to distribute first, so 12 times 5 is 60, and 12 times 2y is 24y, equals, I dropped this down, negative 1 times 6 is negative 6, and negative 1 times negative 9y is positive 9. remember that whenever you see a minus right next to parentheses, you're distributing -1 to both of these things. Now I have to combine like terms on the right hand side because the 4y and the 9y are like terms. They're on the same side of the equal sign. When I add them together, I get 13y, drop down that -6. Now I'm going to get the y on just one side of the equation, so I'm subtracting 13y here and 13y here. That gives me 60 plus 11y equals -6. And I need to get rid of the 60 here, and so that subtracting 60 here and subtracting 60 here gives me 11y equals -66. And last, 11 times y, the opposite of multiplying is to divide. Divide by 11, divide by 11, y equals -6. And I'm done. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.